But you know what? It
Believe
makes me
it.
think of a point. It's really common at a Japanese pro wrestling show, but the call that the ring announcer makes when the action spills out into the floor to,
ああ、とさ、お気をつけください、お気をつけください、right?
to
Yeah,
take
please
care,
be careful,
be
please be
careful.
careful, yeah.
Yeah,
Do not
it's
touch wrestlers. Please be careful. Yeah.
kind of like the
Oh, they
insurance
did that
call.
with FMW Onita or Big Japan. Or, yeah, we still do that to this day.
Mhm,
お気をつけください、お気をつけください, right?
Yeah,
Please be careful, please be careful. Yeah.
but it adds a lot
That
of tension to the
I
what's
think
going
so.
on.
And then also that's like a natural way to suspend your disbelief.
Sure.
You know? Yeah, I think so. So Tiger Jeet Singh all year long. Abdullah the Butcher pretty much all year long. Tiger Jeet Singh, Channel 10. Now it's Channel 5, but Channel 10, TV Asahi, Friday night, 8 o'clock. Inoki, Tiger Jeet Singh, and somebody. Pretty much all year long. And Saturday night, Channel 4, NTV, All Japan Pro Wrestling, primetime show, Giant Baba, and some superstar, Abdullah the Butcher, and probably Jumbo. You know what I'm saying? So it's a program. It was not like they were there all year, but it seems like it.
Sure.
Because they were making 7-8 trips a year when other big superstars were not there. That Tiger Jeet Singh is always on New Japan tour. Abdullah the Butcher is always on All Japan tour. And when Tiger Jeet Singh wasn't there, Andre the Giant was there for New Japan. Yeah, 1974 on. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Vince McMahon Sr., WWF, and they had a partnership. So 74 on until 86 or so, Vincent Kennedy McMahon's taking over the deal, and then they cut the tie with New Japan as of like late 85 or 86 or something like that. But Andre the Giant was making like anywhere from 12 to 15 weeks a year, every year. 12 weeks meaning like you are actually spending good 3 months out of the year in Japan. 15 weeks, that's almost like you're there like 4 months out of the year.
And you go
like
up and down the country.
Yeah. And either it's Andre tour or Tiger Jeet Singh tour. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. By the way, 70s Andre the Giant worked as a heel. I mean, anywhere else in the whole world, Andre the Giant, big babyface, right? Until he challenged Hulk Hogan for WrestleMania 3. That he was universally loved, battle royal, big babyface coming to town once a year kind of thing. But when he wasn't making, these all the territory stops, like WWE, Vincent James McMahon ambassador, that he was in Japan actually. Yeah. And working heel. Interesting, huh? Pretty much, let's see, that either Andre or Tiger Jeet Singh, but more Tiger Jeet Singh, because he's like, you're a perfect opponent for Anthony Inoki. Same size, pretty much same height, and actually they complemented each other. Inoki, the biggest babyface, right? So you will be the biggest heel. Whereas, of course, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Giant Baba, biggest babyface. Of course, then Abdullah the Butcher will be the biggest heel. And what was different from JWA Nippon Pro Wrestling? Everybody knew that with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Antonio Inoki, the biggest superstar, and also the promoter and producer. You know what I'm saying? And the boss. And with All Japan Pro Wrestling, Giant Baba, the top superstar and the owner of the company, promoter and producer and everything else. So people were watching it's Baba show or Inoki show, huh? Yeah. So it's like two different two network channels, 2 nights a week, every week on prime time. You are, if you're wrestling fans, you'll be watching 2 major leagues of professional wrestling, 2 different things. They never mingled.
But over the years, regardless of which you were watching, depending on the year, you'd always end up seeing either Abdullah the Butcher or Tiger Jeet Singh.
My childhood, yes. Yeah. So I said, how many times could I watch Antonio Inoki against Tiger Jeet Singh single match, right? But they did that every tour. But in hindsight, if you grew up in 1980s or something, if you lived in Florida or North Carolina or Virginia or somewhere around there in the Crockett land, you probably watched just as many Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes match.
Sure, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I learned later on that if you lived in Detroit for 30-year period, the Sheik against Bob Brazil, Bob Brazil happened like 100 times.
But you know what's amazing? Those sold out. They sold out for years and years every week. Same match.
Tiger Jeet Singh and against Antonio Inoki always sold out too, all the big arenas. And how many years Giant Baba against Abdullah the Butcher lasted? Yeah. So I pretty much learned that it's now something we can learn from. Wrestling always have this certain format for this is your regular main event that people love. Yeah. Well, if you much younger audience listen to this podcast out there, if you grew up around 2005, 2006, 2007, how many times did they have John Cena against Randy Orton?
Oh my gosh, that was
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was every other
so
month.
There's a format. Well, Rock against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not just 3 WrestleMania, but the house shows after house shows, or even Monday Night Raw, not just, the single match, but the storyline altogether. They worked with each other for years. Yeah. So wrestling have certain format that it's like people are so comfortable with, huh? Yeah. So it was one channel, Friday night, always Inoki against Tiger Jeet Singh, and Saturday night, Baba against Abdullah the Butcher. And what was funny about 70s TV show, they were showing blood on live television, color.
Quite, especially in all Japan, I think.
Oh, Abdullah the Butcher, yeah.
Abdullah the Butcher and blood on himself, on his opponents, the fork.
Yeah. On regular television, network television. Yeah, on prime time. So that I think TV regulation must have been different, huh?
Very. I mean, I guess it was.
They can't do that now.
Yeah. No way. I mean, some of the stuff was even today is quite graphic. You've seen the matches, or you've seen the pictures of Destroyer with his white mask all bloodied up. That's
turn red. Yeah, and Abdullah the Butcher poking Terry Funk's arm with the stick.
Sure.
Bleeding. Bleeding, not from the forehead alone, but the bleeding from your arm. Yeah.
And the way
hanging upside down from the top rope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then people go, no, they're gonna kill Terry. Oh no,
exactly. Yeah, the way Terry Funk sold it was the perfect compliment to these guys, because especially
now we are all grown up, we can say Terry Funk sold so much, right? But if you were 7th grade, then
I mean, he was screaming for the fans' help. He was he looked like he was in so much agony, and he had to fire himself up. It was a perfect, basic good guy, bad guy story.
Of course. And that, in hindsight, that made Terry Funk even bigger babyface. Yeah. So, Abdullah Butcher against Fox, Abdullah the Butcher against Baba, Abdullah the Butcher against Jumbo. I said Abdullah the Butcher against Billy Robinson, title change. Abdullah the Butcher got the U.S. heavyweight title from Destroyer, winning champion Carnival. It's like, actually, he won a lot too with the elbow drop.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to say running elbow drop, the kind of light walking elbow drop from
and also like a float in the air with that big body.
He did have a nice form. Very distinct way of dropping the elbow.
Pretty much Dusty Rhodes. Yeah.
And that was pretty much the only...
and also simple one finish. You know what I'm saying? One move finish. Very convincing.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only wrestling he often did. Aside, he did that, and he also had the karate background. The thrust.
Yeah, thrust. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Then, so it was all through 70s. And spring of 1981, New Japan, Antonio Inoki stole Abdullah the Butcher from All Japan Pro Wrestling. He shows up at Kawasaki, and the storyline was he wants to relinquish his Caribbean title, therefore he can go into IWGP International Wrestling Grand Prix tournament. So you need a storyline, so like a walked out of All Japan and to join New Japan. It wasn't like that. He was there with suit and white jacket, with sunglasses on, pretty dignified, saying that I am challenging you and Mr. Inoki. It's like, ooh, big deal, right? Yeah. Then, following month, July of 1981, Giant Baba decided to steal Tiger Jeet Singh from New Japan.
So and this was the war. Sudden, the war was on.
Yeah,
right?
all of a sudden, Abdullah the Butcher on Channel 10, working New Japan. Tiger Jeet Singh on Channel 4, working All Japan Pro Wrestling against Giant Baba. Ooh, something happened, right? It was Tiger Mask, original Tiger Mask era. The first Riki Choshu, long hair, the first break, the big break was Riki Choshu against Fujinami on top program. And Tiger Mask, of course. And it was, New Japan was kind of winning at the time, and then they did the Terry Funk retirement tour, but that's another story for another day. But all of a sudden, Abdullah the Butcher appearing in Channel 10, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and teaming up with people like a Bad News Allen, Bad News Brown for you guys, and switch style. But actually, Antonio, in the match against Inoki, they teased single match, and the single match between Inoki and Abdullah the Butcher didn't really happen right away. They teased with tag team for a long time, but the Giant Baba had a single match against Tiger Jeet Singh pretty much right away, because they were, willing to do double count out. How many times All Japan gave fans double count out or double DQ finish, was okay about it?
For about 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Or the name wrestler, superstar against superstar, or the double title match, or the, some important, like a matchup usually end up DQ, single DQ, or double DQ, or double count, counted outside the ring kind of thing. Kind of, people got used to it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, though? When I think about it, with guys like Tiger Jeet Singh and Abdullah the Butcher, with their personas, I imagine the audience would kind of not expect the match to end in an DQ, but if you're supposed to suspend disbelief, then it's kind of like, oh, well, it's crazy Abdullah the Butcher, it's crazy Tiger Jeet Singh. Of course, it would end in a DQ, and
they're okay
feel
about it.
As unsatisfied. But you're right; it did just become a trend.
Or meaning predictable.
Yes.
Meaning disappointment in a way. Yeah, and I think in personal way, 1981, 1982 version of Abdullah the Butcher had a problem putting Inoki over on single match situation. Just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Baba had pinned Abdullah the Butcher 1-2-3 situation more than once, in important single matches, or the match in Chicago, or a match someplace else, or the title switch, all these things or the tournament final. That Baba did pin Abdullah the Butcher, more than once, 1-2-3 in the ring. And Abdullah the Butcher really, I think, had a special feeling about, putting somebody over. And he wasn't going to put Inoki over clean right away. You know what I'm saying? He played the game a little bit, And that might have something to do with this, but the Inoki style and Abdullah the Butcher style didn't really complement each other as much as Abby did with Baba. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have very good matches.
Yeah, I think Inoki would shine more with people who wanted to really get into it inside the ring and demonstrate their grappling skills and their martial arts skills. It was more
Tiger Jeet Singh was a crazy guy, but the storyline gimmick character was that he could wrestle if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? In one tour, he only wrestled clean. How good he was.
Sure.
He proved it, kind of thing. And people, of course, it's a storyline, but the people didn't really think Abby could really grapple that much, huh?
They didn't really see much of it, so I think they just assumed.
And then they take foreign object out of his boot, or go outside
less about his technique, more about his behavior. People didn't know what to expect, which is why they wanted to watch him.
Right. So not like with New Japan, All Japan. See, like I said, with All Japan, Abdullah the Butcher had program against every single top guys, right? Like Baba, Jumbo, Destroyer, Billy Robinson, everybody else, pretty much, all the way to somebody like Wahoo McDaniel, Dos Caras, Mil Maskers. They all had single program against Abdullah the Butcher. But the New Japan didn't really offer that, role with Abby. So he was like, kind of almost like a mouthful that he was on pretty much every tour starting summer of 81. But it's like, wow, they pretty much run their course in 2 years or so. Then New Japan stopped using Abdullah the Butcher. Isn't that interesting?
It really illustrates the difference in booking style between Baba and Inoki.
Booking style, not a wrestling style, but the
booking style,
more of a booking style and the storyline philosophy of it.
In All Japan, you would go to see special attraction pro wrestling. You would see the best in the world.
Yeah, at the same time, Tiger Jeet Singh and also Umanosuke Ueda, the blonde hair, big Japanese heel, he went with Tiger Jeet Singh. Like a babysitter almost, that Tiger Jeet Singh and Umanosuke Ueda became international tag team champion with All Japan right away. They gave him that, So they treated different way, So by having Tiger Jeet Singh and Umanosuke Ueda together again, coming from New Japan into All Japan world, that you had Tiger Jeet Singh and Umanosuke Ueda against people like Giant Baba and Bruno Sammartino together, or the Funks, or the people like Harley Race and Nick Bockwin together, or you see Tiger Jeet Singh and Umanosuke Ueda entering the Rio Tag Team Tournament in December. All the dream card, happened,
It was like the same format, just with Ueda with him now. It was dream tag team matches.
Yes, yeah.
But
or against Jumbo and Tenryu together, So I think All Japan used Tiger Jeet Singh and Umanosuke Ueda well and better than the New Japan used Abdullah the Butcher.
Like you just mentioned Choshu, it was around this time when Choshu became really popular, but Abdullah the Butcher was present during that whole
while Riki Choshu was getting really like a huge superstar, the match against Fujinami, yes, Abby was there.
Bad News Allen, Abby, and you could see Abdullah the Butcher wasn't the center of that storyline. He was a side character.
And actually, like 82, Abdullah the Butcher against Hulk Hogan happened with New Japan.
That I think that was probably the best.
Hulk Hogan still talks about it.
I think that was maybe the most effective Abdullah the Butcher was in New Japan, was with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and he was hulking up, that match.
That's right. The first Hulk up, it began in New Japan.
Don't you think? Yeah.
There's a match where Hogan bleeds. I thought it was
very interesting.
He bleeds so much in that match.
Yeah, and then the Abdullah the Butcher keep poking young Hulk Hogan's forehead, right? Then just taking it, Hulk Hogan taking it, and getting up, like hulking up. It's not how hulking up was born. It was very interesting.
Very organic story too. It was very much, he's overcoming the big monster, and
so in a way, Abdullah the Butcher made Hulk Hogan bigger babyface than he was. That was a time that Hulk Hogan was becoming really big star in Japan, making a tag team with Antonio Inoki. And we have to add this one, that I said 81, right? Spring to summer of 81, New Japan stole Abdullah the Butcher from All Japan. Abdullah the Butcher started working New Japan. Then following month, Tiger Jeet Singh was stolen by, he signed with All Japan Pro Wrestling and went to All Japan and left New Japan. And Stan Hansen, by then, actually, Stan Hansen was becoming almost bigger star than Tiger Jeet Singh with New Japan. Stan Hansen was initially brought in to New Japan year 1977, year after he was brought in as a man who broke Bruno Sammartino's neck.
WWF.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, the blonde version.
Yeah. But he was brought in as somebody who broke Living Legend's neck with his Western Lariat. Then single match program, Stan against Inoki started. They clicked, all the good matches. And it's like, sooner or later, the Tiger Jeet Singh was going to either phase down or kind of pushed, down from the main event, position or something. Stan Hansen was becoming big star. And sure enough, 79, Stan Hansen beat Antonio Inoki for NWF title. Count out, not the pin, but the count out, but the title switched hands. And held the title for, like a couple, 3 months. Then Inoki beat him again. And the Inoki against Stan Hansen happened like 5 or 6 times in 1 year period. Then Hulk Hogan was White Trunks was brought in 81. Right after the initial WWF program. If you remember, White Trunks, Hulk Hogan working WWF against like young Ted DiBiase.
With Fred Blassie?
Of course. With this cape. Yeah. Yeah, and babyface Andre against heel Hulk Hogan.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Then he signed contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling upon Stan's departure. Stan Hansen, see, that summer of 81 into 82, New Japan and All Japan stole each other's talent so much that Dick Murdoch moved from All Japan to New Japan, right? And from New Japan, Chavo Guerrero Sr. from New Japan to All Japan. And Taiga Toguchi Kimdak from All Japan to New Japan. And there's like a few other wrestlers switch side just that year alone. And that's like when Hulk Hogan became more Hulk Hogan about himself, that he saw and read the situation so well that the Terry Funk was going to sign Hulk Hogan away from New Japan, then have him sign with All Japan. Just like Stan did. And Hulk Hogan said yes once and decided not to. And he pretty much told New Japan, basically Inoki, what the situation is. And that's when Inoki decided to make this guy a superstar and keep him, right? And then that year, tag team tournament, Hulk Hogan and Inoki, made a tag team together and they won the tag team tournament. And 82 on, Hulk Hogan was pretty much basically splitting his time between Minneapolis, 5 6 months out of the year, 6 7 months out of the year with New Japan. That was when Hulk Hogan was on TV all the time in Japan. Babyface. Yeah. That's the time period that the Hulk Hogan against Abdullah the Butcher happened.
That's right. And it really was, the perfect introduction to that version of Hulkamania Hulk Hogan, because he'd go on to have the career he'd have, and a lot of his
and
WWF
also
career.
Spending time side by side with Antonio Inoki all year. Pretty much learned how to be babyface, like national hero babyface type.
Yeah, learn how to be a star.
I guess so. And how to be Antonio Inoki 24/7, how to be Hulk Hogan 24/7 kind of thing. Interesting, huh? But Abby did not have as much success with New Japan Pro Wrestling as much as he did with All Japan. Tiger Jeet Singh, at the same time, he had pretty good, longevity with All Japan. Yeah. Then 85, the final, like a jumping over the fence thing. Bruiser Brody was signed with New Japan. coming from All Japan. Then that was like considered by many Japanese fans that the Brody coming from New Japan, All Japan side to New Japan, had a single match program against little aged, but the Antonio Inoki all through 85 into 86, that was Bruiser Brody's peak period in Japan. Because Bruiser Brody was Stan's tag team partner, equal, but in people's eyes, like a sun and the moon, right? That Stan, obviously a bigger star, or like a heel but likable, lovable star.
Sure.
Stan Hansen's the Bruiser Brody, a little bit difficult, huh? You know? But he switched side and challenged Antonio Inoki. That made him very special and made him bigger star than he was 6 months before that. You know what I mean? And that was Brody's biggest program in Japan. Basically, at the end of December, that Bruiser Brody and his tag team partner Jimmy Snuka had some dispute with New Japan office. They got off bullet train in the middle of the middle of the day and taking opposite that direction. Bullet train went back to Japan and switched hotel, went home next day. I ain't doing it. Something happened, right? So basically, New Japan announced that they fired Bruiser Brody and Jimmy Snuka, right? At the time, they weren't using Abdullah the Butcher either, still under contract, but it was more like it became like what do you call that? That the product not being sold, but still in stock.
Overstock.
I guess, still under contract technically, but not using him any longer.
Excuse me. It's a little similar to like when Vader showed up in WWE. Yeah, they just couldn't find, not exactly the same, but just the idea that they couldn't
no program, huh?
Not a program that worked. It wasn't a setting that could work for Abdullah or Vader. So
and then in the spring of 85, long overdue, that the tour, when New Japan started using some new main event guy like a King Kong Bundy, that long overdue Antonio Inoki against Abdullah the Butcher single match finally happened, and Inoki pinned him. But it wasn't even that big of a deal anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And after 2 years after this a Bruiser Brody incident, Inoki becomes politician, in 1990, right? And 89. Basically, he's not in a wrestling office, and Seiji Sakaguchi became president. So All Japan and New Japan, the Sakaguchi and Giant Baba was in like a talking stage, that they could actually sit down and talk to each other, Basically, when Riki Choshu and his guys returned from All Japan's 2 years, if you remember, Riki Choshu and his 15 guys left New Japan, Inoki, 84, and joined Giant Baba's All Japan as a Japan Pro Wrestling, and it worked 2 years, right? And in 87, Riki Choshu and his 10 guys decided to come back to New Japan, right? And it was going to be a court case. I mean, nobody will benefit from. Spending a lot of money, but nobody benefit from. And actually, Baba's okay that Riki Choshu and his guys returned to New Japan. And basically, Giant Baba washed hand with them, right? In return, Giant Baba got the Brody, Abdullah the Butcher, and Jimmy Snuka back. So that year, that summer, Bruiser Brody, Abdullah the Butcher, Jimmy Snuka all went back to All Japan Pro Wrestling. So rest is the history. But now, see, Abdullah the Butcher, born 1941, and now like 81. Tiger Jeet Singh, born 1944, now what, 78? So these are the superstars that today's fans don't really relate to, huh? But we learn so much, not just about this in-ring product, but like a Japanese wrestling politics and who will be on top. And see, if it wasn't for Abdullah the Butcher and Tiger Jeet Singh, that the people like Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody, or Terry Gordy, Steve Williams, Bam Bam Bigelow, Vader, Scott Norton, none of those people would be working that full-time schedule with Japan.
Yeah, they blazed the trail for the talent.
Yeah. See, Japanese wrestling, all these American superstars come and rotate in, work tours, right? But you will still need the regular American who be honoring their full-time schedule with New Japan, with the Japanese company. Yeah. That's what Stan Hansen did for 20-year period, basically like a 25 period. 81 to 2001, Stan Hansen worked All Japan 20 years full time. Oh my gosh, right? That's like pretty much had a career in Japan. Yeah. And Bruiser Brody did too. And when Stan started working New Japan, then switched to All Japan 81, then on, he pretty much decided not to work home, Yeah.
Yeah, you would see
little bit at WCW, a little bit, and
he was regular in Puerto Rico. He would show up.
But it's only big show,
right?
1 weekend out of the year.
But in general, Abdullah the Butcher was, and Tiger Jeet Singh to that extent, they were.
Tiger Jeet Singh is like he has a house in Toronto, of course, but basically he stopped working in Canada altogether when he signed with New Japan. And he was making lots of money. And there's a famous tale about Tiger Jeet Singh. It's actually true that when you get off the Toronto International Airport and walk through your baggage claim and you try to grab a taxi cab, right? Tell your taxi driver Tiger Jeet Singh's palace. They'll take you there.
Where is his palace then?
Oh, in the Toronto,
in Toronto.
Yeah, in Toronto.
And everybody knows?
Every single taxi driver knows how to get to Tiger Jeet Singh's palace. That's what I'm saying. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, he has quite a legacy in Canada too. I know that there's a school named after him.
Yeah, and his 14,000 square feet palace with golf course on it,
Wow,
and swimming
I didn't know he had a palace.
Yeah, basically, and he is, his documentary was, made by Canadian TV more than once, many times actually, like a documentary that this guy actually is super famous as Emperor in Japan or something like that, And actually, I did, I answered some interview from Canadian TV, talked about how big he is and the comic book thing and TV thing and just all these things that he's on the cover of all the magazine and just actually that the myth and legend became even bigger than that actually was,
Oh, tell me about that. What was that? What are the origins from out of the comic and what did people think?
Or what Tiger Jeet Singh and his people told Canadians.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, and also, up until he started coming, Tiger Jeet Singh started coming to Japan, he was working Toronto territory. He was actually babyface. In Canada. In Canada, he challenged Gene Kaniski's NWA title. In Toronto, he challenged Bruno Sammartino for, babyface title match. And he was actually like an Indian population hero in Toronto. But he did not want anybody to know about his babyface side of the work in Japan. That's his guy. Never print his babyface match in Japanese magazine. He made sure that he was would be portrayed as a crazy guy wherever he went. That he was so careful about this, big crazy guy image that he created in Japan that he pretty much controlled, what he wanted on media. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. There was a different nuance to Tiger Jeet Singh with his character. It seemed like there was more going on. It wasn't like Abdullah the Butcher who played psychotic. You know what I mean?
But outside the ring, Abdullah the Butcher would sign the autograph and take photos with fans. Was okay about it. But the Tiger Jeet Singh start chasing fans at the hotel lobby.
So he was on all the time.
All the time.
He was on all the time.
Or the start chasing photographers, start chasing reporters like us. Yeah.
Did that ever get out of control? Did anybody ever get injured or hurt during those chases? Because if you go back and watch, they are pretty...
Not injured, but ended up breaking things at hotels and got serious about it. You know what I'm saying? Like a press conference room or the ballroom or, real expensive tables and the backdrop and all these things were destroyed during the, press conference. Of course, office paid for it, and the New Japan, All Japan were okay about it, but the people actually had to run because you never know, Yeah,
he was really he did have a weapon, and you'd see
sable. Yeah,
with Jeet Singh, he had the saber. With Abdullah, he had something in his pants, usually a fork or a pencil or a spike,
or like a piece of chopsticks or something.
Sure. And I mean, another point is that you can't talk about these two and not mention how they contributed to this development of hardcore wrestling.
Yes. So actually, when Abdullah the Butcher finally went back to his home, All Japan Pro Wrestling 87, he had another very basic Abdullah the Butcher run. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a new tag team partner like a TNT, Sabio Vega, and then he had a Giant Kamala 2, not the original Kamala, but the Japanese version of number 2 Giant Kamala. He was a regular partner, and he always had tag team partner in Japan. All the way to like 2005, if you remember, Dark Age. But Minoru Suzuki and Tiger Jeet, Abdullah the Butcher and Minoru Suzuki were tag team partner once. Yeah, and he had such a longevity because of the style. Abdullah the Butcher wasn't required to do a whole lot in the ring. Yeah, you never
really have to.
I mean, mat wrestling or anything that you'll probably bump for you or do the karate thrust and these karate moves that he were able to maintain Abdullah the Butcher character better than Tiger Jeet Singh would.
Right. The
longer
nature
career, actually.
Yeah, Tiger Jeet Singh was a more traditional wrestler at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also he wanted to be more believable.
Sure.
Yeah, because something about Abdullah the Butcher, actually, as bloody as he was likable.
Yeah. And he did. I don't know when, you can tell me, when did he start appearing on commercials in Japan?
Oh, like in early 80s, while he was big heel, but outside, you're talking about the soda pop, commercial.
Or like, for a refrigerator or whatever.
Yeah, so he was like more of a celebrity type. He can be gentleman outside the ring.
Yeah, and I think a lot of older women found him kind of like a cute, adorable, lovable, kind of gentle giant sort of image.
What they have in common, though, was that they dressed very nice outside the ring.
That's right. Abdullah the Butcher would wear very
gold rings and the gold, belt buckles, the real expensive dress shoes. Never wore denim. Always had a dress pants on and dress shirt on. Remember?
And that's how they drew him that way in the comics too. That was, those images.
They learned from the Sheik.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Sheik dressed in very expensive clothes outside the ring.
Or tailor-made suits, top and bottom. Yeah. Or the tailor-made shoes. Yeah. And Abdullah the Butcher the same way. A lot of jewelries, the rings and necklace and all these things. And good looking sunglasses, right? Oh, and the Rolex, of course.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So Tiger Jeet Singh is similar too. Yeah. That Rolex, of course, and a lot of jewelries. And he talked about Hindu and the more religious part of it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So similar in a lot of ways, but very different in a lot of ways. And this Abdullah the Butcher Tiger Jeet Singh tag team actually happened twice, two occasions. 1979, there was an all-star game, that the Tokyo Sports promoted. All three companies, New Japan, All Japan, and IWE Kokusai, three companies worked one night only all-star card. The main event was Baba Inoki tag team for the first time in 8 years, since like 71. And that happened in summer of 1979. And the main event was Baba Inoki against Abdullah the Butcher and the Tiger Jeet Singh.
Kind of the
all-star game.
Ultimate baby-faced heel combination that you can get at that.
And Inoki pinned Tiger Jeet Singh with backslide. I mean, that's a perfect one, don't you think?
It's perfect, yeah. It's kind of backslide. Like at the end of the It's
and then get up right away and start. We're going around.
Of course, at 3.1 they get up and start running around like nothing happened.
Right.
But it has to be. No, it has to be trickery. It can't be.
Of course,
it can't be brute force.
Then they had to leave the ring. Pretty much. Yeah, and also Abdullah the Butcher Tiger Jeet Singh tag team happened in late '80s in All Japan after Abby came back, but they weren't happy with each other. Because they don't complement each other. Who's going to be on the focal point, right? So Baba decided to put them together as a team, one tour, almost like an experiment, but didn't really do it again. So that means Giant Baba decided not to, huh?
Seems like it.
Yeah, the Tiger Jeet Singh should have his own tag team partner, like a less of a partner, and Abdullah the Butcher should have his own, new tag team partner, like a less guys, right? Almost less of a star. And they didn't really touch each other after that. But pretty soon, Tiger Jeet Singh will be working for another company. This is like your Stan Hansen, Terry Gordy, Steve Williams, Dan Spivey, all these, generation after the guys in 90s era that it was time for Tiger Jeet Singh and Abdullah the Butcher would be, to be working someplace else. Like Big Japan Pro Wrestling or Tokyo Pro Wrestling or IWA Japan or it's just all these smaller independent, but
Tokyo Pro Wrestling, the second version.
Yeah, right, by Ishikawa, right. That that newer company who could still be using Abdullah the Butcher or Tiger Jeet Singh on main event. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and they have the same match. Same match every time.
There's nobody who could beat them.
That's right. And there's nobody else that can do those matches. I mean, it's what the fans want to go to see. They want to see the whole full Abdul the Butcher, the full Tiger Jeet Singh experience.
Yeah, and then something like Tiger Jeet Singh against Onita at the Yokohama Stadium or something.
Sure. That was a little, fast forward into the 90s. It kind of like at the end of Tiger Jeet Singh's career.
Yeah, but still dignified Tiger Jeet Singh on, in the main event status.
Taken seriously.
And then Abdullah the Butcher started working, taking booking with these big, the smaller independent, then still be, main eventing. And also he started selling his fork at the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He went to like like your $1 store, like a 100-yen shop.
Sure.
Yeah, buy like dozens and dozens of fork and put the taping on it. And then sign an autograph on it, and all of a sudden that's your merchandise.
Sure.
Yeah. So he was working in the ring. Abdullah the Butcher, I'm talking about. He was working in the ring up until spring of 2019.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to his retirement show. Yeah,
I remember that. That was a big deal. That was like a special on TV.
Yeah,
Jim Valley was there too.
Yeah. It was a great time. The Mil Mascaras and Dos Caras worked. And Dory Funk Jr. was there. Original Tiger Mask, the Sayama was there. Inoki showed up, but he did not get in the ring.
That's
because
right.
It was All Japan ring. It just legacy remains, But they were in the photograph together, all these, real big legends. Abdullah the Butcher's retirement night. And this is all legend card kind of thing. Then Tiger Jeet Singh does too, but Abdullah the Butcher looked like Abdullah the Butcher until the day he retired.
Yeah.
Little skinnier, but he looked still like what Abdullah the Butcher should look like.
And they made a special kimono for him for that retirement ceremony.
Yeah.
Custom, extra large size.
No kimono in Japan would fit him.
Yeah, it looked pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
Tiger Jeet Singh hasn't done the retirement ceremony in Japan just yet. But he got more political that he had a business card from the United Nations. I don't know what his role was, but he was handing his business card like he was part of the United Nations. Yeah.
He also, I believe, he had a restaurant in Osaka, a curry restaurant.
It was not his restaurant, but let his friend use his name. Yeah. India restaurant. Yeah. Oh, over the decades, Abdullah the Butcher, both Abdullah the Butcher and Tiger Jeet Singh made friends outside of wrestling. Yeah. Business people or investor, real estate people, or bar business, restaurant business people. Yeah. They made a lot of friends in Japan. Basically 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000 into 2010s into 2020. Yeah. If it wasn't for pandemic, they would have been here.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, as a matter of fact, Stan Hansen was here this last week. He just left a couple of days ago. Yeah. It was the first time in 3 years. He was going to come back
a lot.
Yeah, because he is Stan Hansen, kind of gray and a white mustache and everything, but you still look like Stan Hansen. And he pitched first pitch at the baseball game too.
Yeah, Hanshin Tigers.
Yeah. And also the entire week he did the photo, or signing party or the talk show thing, or just, take picture with Stan Hansen thing. And he just, the whole schedule, the whole week he had something scheduled all week. And he had a cowboy hat on. He had a Western shirt on. He still talks like Stan Hansen. He looked like Stan Hansen, and people loved him. Really.
Same cowboy hat, same smile.
Of course, same smile, and this special jaw he has. Yeah, and Longhorn, youth. Yeah. So I'm hoping that Abdullah the Butcher and Tiger Jeet Singh would make tour like that. And the Tiger Jeet Singh might be gentlemen this time.
With Abdullah the Butcher, I'm not aware of his health condition right now. I know.
Right.
He was. I don't know if he was in perfect health. I know he did have to be in a wheelchair at the retirement ceremony. But
no, because of back and knees too. Yeah. I mean, he had a lot of weight on him. Yeah.
And right before he retired, there was also there was a lawsuit. That he dealt with about supposedly it was I guess it was proven in court that he gave a wrestler hepatitis C.
Which was bloody match, knowing it. Yeah.
And I mean, he bled a lot throughout the years.
That's what he did for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And also there was the thing that people would gather cashews, that the crowdfunding, to help him. I don't know what happened exactly after that, but the people were trying to put together this crowd fund. Yeah.
Yeah, it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, we should also mention that Abdullah the Butcher's kind of protege in Japan, Abdullah Kobayashi.
Of course, Japanese person with Abdullah name on him, but work like him and dress like him.
Wrestles the same way.
Yeah, wrestle the same way, and has a similar forehead.
Yeah, scarred up, and
yeah.
He's actually scheduled to be in the United States soon for an indie company I just saw.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Abdullah Kobayashi. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Part hardcore wrestler, part parody wrestler.
Sure. Oh, because you have to know Abdullah the Butcher to understand Abdullah Kobayashi, of course. Yeah,
but there was a time in Big Japan, mid-90s, when they were working together, when especially Kobayashi was much smaller. But yeah, it was like a mini version of Abdullah the Butcher.
Right. And it's good to have, like a kind of like a, Beatles copy bands, or the at the live house you see that only, band that only plays Stones or something, and and some wrestlers should be honoring the role that somebody should be working like Abdullah. And there was a wrestler in Mexico who is no longer with us, Abdullah Tamba, that works just like Abdullah the Butcher. And there was like a great martial ball guy in Japan, or in Japan that the Tor Kamata wrestled a lot like Abdullah the Butcher. And this is a style made, after him. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm trying to think of other top. I mean, we didn't talk about his time in, he had a famous feud with Carlos Colon, and he was in WCW in some infamous moments.
Yeah, that the Halloween Havoc that electrified and all these.
Yeah, he was electrocuted.
He did have Atlanta run, that WCW run, that the Puerto Rico run, a short but AWA run. Of course, Dallas, Fritz von Erich, I'm talking about, the world class, that Abdullah the Butcher against Bruce Brody program. Yeah, he did work a lot in America, but he never took full-time schedule on the road. He worked American schedules between Japan tour. That's what he was doing all through 80s. Yeah.
And that was an option then.
Yeah, because after end of the 80s into 90s, it's either you work WWE or WCW. Then they give you, most wrestlers want to sign a full-time contract, only want to work major league, big company, right? Then those two companies paid American wrestlers more than any territory, company did. So people were, they were wanting to sign an exclusive contract, full-time contract with insurance and bonus, signing bonus and a whole bit. That the wrestling became different business after WWE and WCW. And also, that Abdullah the Butcher wouldn't fit in that,
Yeah, I mean, the world outside of wrestling was changing too. I mean, just from the
cable companies and
cable companies, but also economics. I mean, thinking about how strong the yen was from the
way back when. Oh yeah,
it kept getting so that option opened up a whole new lane for wrestlers to go over and make great money compared to the rest of the world. But that changed too when the bubble burst.
Right, you be making because. In 1970s and 1980s money, people like Stan Hansen, Abdullah the Butcher, Tiger Jeet Singh, of course, they were making like a 300,000 or 400,000 just from Japan a year.
And that's without the conversion.
Not even full time.
That's 1970s a currency rate too. I can't imagine what it is, and it's probably double that now.
Yeah, but none of the company, even the Crockett or before 1984 version of WWE, weren't paying that much, But the scale, the economic scale, and the money figure in the economy changed too. But the whole paying structure in America, like Vince McMahon structure,
that's right
it
too.
Really changed. Yeah, and there was no such thing as March money then.
Right, that was money that would go to the company.
Yeah, or trademarked ring names that they own your name, trademark kind of thing. None of those happened before Vince McMahon's idea. And the decades and decades Abdullah the Butcher and Tiger Jeet Singh, was in the ring professionally. Those two never worked for Vince McMahon. Interesting, huh?
It's pretty unprecedented. Looking back, you can probably count on your fingers the wrestlers who were so popular who didn't run through WWF at one time. Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher.
The Tiger Jeet Singh did make a couple appearances when Antonio Inoki was working, this special appearance Madison Square Garden. Like end of the year, the
Iron Sheik,
Inoki be working something like that, and the Tiger Jeet Singh shows up in ringside and leaves. So that part of Japan TV, Japanese television. but never really had program or matches or schedules with WWF.
Right.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know if you remember Tiger Ali Singh. From
his son.
His story son. Yeah, not real, not his real son, but
no, real son.
Was it his real son?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was just a storyline for during the 90s.
Real son, but he got he hurt his neck and kind of retired early.
Yeah,
Tiger Ali Singh.
Tiger Ali Singh. He kind of had like $1 million man gimmick.
Yeah, that's his real son.
I didn't know that. I thought it was. I thought it was work.
No, that's his real son. Yeah, Mickey, his name is. Now he's, I think, manager of his dad.
I see.
Yeah.
And Tiger Jeet Singh is based in Toronto still?
I think so, yeah. And he's a businessman and also some kind of ambassador for like Goodwill or the Children's Hospital, some sort. Yeah.
A lot of nonprofit charity kind of activity.
Then very babyface outside ring.
Very much
and also
total opposite.
He's known in Toronto that a man who became billionaire in Japan. That's his story. I'm not sure about the billionaire though, but the story is, yeah. Very interesting career, huh?
Very interesting career, very influential characters, and I can't state enough how big of a star someone like Abdullah the Butcher is, just to people who don't watch wrestling. People, maybe not people under 30 this generation, but
under 30. Oh, it's impossible, right? But almost over 50 to even remember them in prime. Yeah.
But if you do bring up pro wrestling to people, a lot of people, that's the first wrestler they mention.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
The Butcher or Stan Hansen.
Or Tiger Jeet Singh. Yeah. Then Andre the Giant Hulk Hogan. Or probably Brody, of course. But that's around that. Yeah.
Yeah, these two were mega stars.
Yeah.
In a unique way.
Pretty much overlooked in English-speaking world today.
Yeah, because their legacy was outside of the United States.
Yeah. But now that by knowing their legacy and learning about them, that would help understand Japanese wrestling a little bit better.
I think so. And with today's technology, you can hop on your phone and within 5 seconds pull up some of this footage on YouTube.
On YouTube? Yeah, a lot of them in there. And also New Japan World. You know, today's New Japan audience, New Japan World, we should call them. They don't go back and watch legendary matches. It's in there, though.
I mean, if you're going to watch one on New Japan World, I'd recommend the Hogan match. I mean, that's an important match in Hogan's career.
Hogan against Abby?
Yeah.
That's a good one. But Inoki against Tiger Jeet Singh, any of them, like a 5 or 6 of them in there. But the early one, see, I remember like Tiger Jeet Singh green trunks and Inoki black tights. And Tiger Jeet Singh red trunks, Inoki black trunks. Tiger Jeet Singh yellow trunks, Inoki black trunks. And Tiger Jeet Singh black trunks, the trunks black and black. I had to remember that was Tiger Jeet Singh's tights color. And probably watch 30 other matches too. You know, just on TV. You know, not the one I watched live, you know.
Right.
So many times. And I think the matches were similar. So like we said, Ric Flair against Dusty Rhodes or something around the horn, the matches were similar, I'm pretty sure, you know, if not the same, you know.
And there's also that fact that I don't know how anybody could replicate. I can't imagine what it felt like to be chased by these guys. But you could pull it up on YouTube. You can watch the way people reacted to Abdullah the Butcher and Tiger Jeet Singh.
Oh, plus we cannot, you know, forget this fact that the Japanese market always needed full-time schedule American superstar, all the way to your Vader, the Scott Norton, the Terry Gordy, to somebody like Joe Doring. Today, that's why Jay White and Will Ospreay are important.
It was their path. They were the first to kind of structure a deal like that for a foreigner, a way for foreign wrestlers to work on a almost full-time schedule.
Yeah, and the Jay White wouldn't work anywhere else. He makes an appearance at AEW or other companies outside Japan. That's always special appearance for television purpose.
And you always think of him as a New Japan guy.
See, so that's the business model that the Abdullah the Butcher, Tiger Jeet Singh, Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody pretty much created. Isn't that interesting?
It's interesting, and there's two guys that you can study up on and learn a lot from just by watching what and reading about these two. And just looking at the pictures, I mean, somebody like Abdullah the Butcher is somebody whose photos in the magazines back in the day, they're so vivid. You remember
back then, so bloody,
so graphic, and a lot of those images would stay in your head.
I guess so, yeah.
He was very photogenic.
Well, as a kid, to be honest with you, they weren't my favorite, but they were always on TV. You had to watch them.
They were a big part of it, whether you liked it or not. They were kind of a force.
Was always in Japan, yes.
And I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but for some people, I'm sure at a big show, that some people in the crowd, that may be the first time that they'd ever seen a foreign person that wasn't Japanese. That could be their first time seeing somebody from overseas, and it happened to be somebody like Abdullah the Butcher.
Not or white person with blonde hair. These two are ambiguous. You know,
you could see people's faces.
But they're not really like a white, blonde hair wrestler like somebody like Dick Murdoch.
More exotic.
India, guy from India, or the Canadian, but he's from India.
The story,
Also from Ontario, Canada, Abdullah the Butcher, but they were saying he's from Sudan.
The madman from Sudan.
Yeah. So they were ethnically ambiguous. So that's more of almost like your comic book character.
Yeah, and as a fan, you had to use your imagination a little bit too.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know they spoke English. Right? Yeah. What language he would be speaking? India or Sudan? Or, not English, The
element of mystery and...
of course.
And like kind of excitement, just you don't know what is going to happen. And those two brought that flavor.
Yeah, then Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba made best usage of this, the whole character, because they were the ultimate babyface.
It was like watching Godzilla versus one of the
Ultraman
or Ultraman. Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. That was the booking. That was the kind of I guess you call it the psychology at the time.
Yeah, and universally understandable.
Exactly.
Right?
David and Goliath kind of thinking.
Sure, and does over and over and over all year long. Yeah.
Easy to understand.
Then again, I never got sick of it. I was watching every week.
And it ages in a very interesting way, watching it in 2022 and with more knowledge of how pro wrestling works and how much wrestling is available. You can really see how different they performed. They brought something.
Yeah.
There's nobody today.
Inoki seldom get pinned, right?
Right.
Tiger Jeet Singh seldom got pinned. How did they do that for 10 years?
And they weren't doing anything flashy, or it's not like today's wrestling, which has definitely, there's an athletic element to it, much more so than back then, but it wasn't about that. It was about the characters and notion of...
Yeah, I remember Inoki passing out from the Cobra claws thing, and his foam come out of his mouth, and Inoki passing out. He wasn't beat, but he got passed out. He passed out or something.
Dramatic. Very dramatic.
Something, yeah.
So, yeah, they added a lot of drama.
So they were pretty creative about it then.
Yes. Yeah, so that I think that's a great... 2-for-1 episode. We got two legends in one episode.
You had to have both Tiger Jeet Singh and Abdullah the Butcher pretty much together on one episode to have better understanding.
After the 80s and 90s, they definitely had separate paths, but in the 70s and 80s, especially, those two, they were kind of
two main characters from two different major league, and two different channel, but all at the same time, Then it was a big deal if they cross path, which they did, after a decade or so. Yeah.
All right. So if anybody out there is listening that still has questions about Tiger Jeet Singh or Abdullah the Butcher, where can we find you, Fumi-san?
On Twitter at Fumihiko-dayo, 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 or just face Fumi Saito on Facebook.
And on Twitter, I'm at Justin M. Knipper, Knipper. That's it for this week. Until next time, Fumi, take it away.
So long from Tokyo. Write that down, Saito.